I think mainly the what you call something stable, stable mind, sampatimbo, stable mind. Yeah. So the bardo of someday mainly consist of practices. I think most of you already quite aware of. Generally, uh, shamatha, calm abiding, and shini, and then laktung is a vipassana. Yeah, so vipassana practice, I think, mainly consists of these two in order to build the what we say stabilized mind. So I think utilization of that, and generally within the practice, these two practices. Mm. So I think before we start, mm, mm, before we start, a little bit of what we left off last time during the Nigi Bardo, the Bardo of what we say dreaming in regards to karma and conditioning. Uh, so generally, uh, last time I mentioned that before you sleep, if the intentions are pure, then the continuity of the development of karmic imprint in regards to intention continues throughout the night. This is when the mind, specifically in our normal state, meaning non-aware state, during the sleeping what we say sleeping time, when our mind is not aware, then generally the imposement of the karmic what we say line of creation, or whatever you want to call it, conditioning, that one consistent throughout the sleep. Then when the awareness, when you practice in the awareness, and the awareness starts to develop through the state of sleep, stronger, as you process. I think without the awareness, then like I mentioned earlier, the continuity of the stream of what we call the dreaming state, yeah, the continuity of the conditioning of the dreaming state is implemented by the what motivation before the sleep. Yeah, so nothing to do with once you are asleep, even whether the awareness is there or not there, I don't think it matters. I think the continuity of the karmic imprint, what we say karmic what we say absorption or conditioning continues. Then once you practice in the Nyigipardo, and you are able to build the stabilization of the mind, the awareness point, where you are able to what we say disengage with the patterns of the sleep, and manifest or understand understand what I was calling the awareness of awareness. So the awareness of the dreaming state itself, now you're already into a state where the awareness is starting to arise. So the second pose here is during that, then the implementation of the awareness, that not the awareness, the what is the motivation before the sleep is one thing. Of course, that has its own continuity of karmic imprint. So definitely, if I give you an example, if I have a pure motivation before sleeping and then I sleep, then definitely there is a continuity of that karmic stream itself, because I think continuously we can create. It's not like we create one karmic stream. I think we can continuously be creating multiple karmic streams. Yeah, conditioning is the same thing, I think, right? We can aim for multiple goals and work with one thing, right? So if, for example, if I want to if I want to make someone happy, if I want to make some money, if I want to, develop something, I can do it all at once while, during the daytime. And all three conditionings can be continually what is simultaneously done. So in that state of dreaming, of course, the motivation before the sleep, that has its own continuity of conditioning. And then once you are in the sleeping state, even if the awareness is not there from the beginning, the moment the awareness of the awareness arises, yeah, the awareness of you sleeping, the awareness of you dreaming, the awareness of your subtle mind during the dreaming state, the awareness of the images and the imprints that are arising, and your awareness that the, well, again, within that also there's different levels of awareness. First awareness is just knowing that it's a dream. That is the first level of awareness. Then the second level of awareness is knowing that you are unaware, knowing that your unawareness or your unconsciousness is present at that time. Then the third one is in practice. I think in practice, when I think we did talk a little bit about it, when the implementation or when your practice becomes so strong, then the implementation of, for example, the concept of samsaric existence is there. Yeah, and then the defining between the ultimate truth and the conventional truth. So understanding that the dream is a dream is one state of it, but understanding that the dream that you are dreaming is conventional, that's also another level of understanding as well. And then understanding the true nature of existence of the dream, that it merely labeled, that it doesn't exist, what is intrinsic non-existence in the what we say in the object itself or in the state itself. Now that is again based on practice. That's a whole different level of understanding. So now these different levels of understanding again create different conditioning, right? So one conditioning, definitely just being aware that it's a dream, it's in its own what we say development. That karmic conditioning creates the what do we say the conditioning of awareness. Yeah, so the awareness, building the awareness is through the understanding that it's a dream. Now, once you are aware of that, then second level of understanding is to what do we say uh, sort of like to fight with our conceptual view. So understanding that the dream is a dream is general, I think. Yeah. So then how our emotions react to the dream. Now that's a whole, that's I think the second level of understanding, meaning that you understand the dream is a dream, you understand the images that appear, whether it's wrathful, whether it's kind, whether it's nice, whether it's, sorry, there's a plane flying over the house. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Then the second thing is understanding that the dream is dream, and then looking at your own emotion, that you are aware, not just aware of the dream, but the awareness that you dreaming is there as well. And in that state, then you are dealing with your emotions. So that's a second level of awareness. And within that, I think now you are coming into the form of conditioning. So the karma works in a different way, because now you understand your emotions, you understand your reactions. And based on your emotions and your reactions, then the conditioning is also there. So I always say every aspect of our emotional growth is based on practice. You know, if you get what do we say, if you get what do we say, easily agitated by other people talking, you know, if you don't if that becomes a habit, or if you get angry very easily, then that's also a habitual buildup, which is also a karmic buildup, right? So if someone says something to you, something bad, calls you by a bad name or something like that, and you react immediately, and then, you know, the more reactions you are able to bring up, the stronger the karmic, you know, what we say, build up, as we say, right? Habitual build up sort of thing. So even if you are not a very short-tempered person, if you start reacting faster and faster and faster and more and more and more, then most likely that you will end up being a very short-tempered person. So this is sort of the conditioning, and that also works during the dreaming state as well, right? So there are people who are affected so much by dreams that once they wake up from the dream, then even when the realization of it's just a dream is there, the reaction becomes very harsh. So let's say, for example, you had a dream of someone beating you or something like that, then that can become a traumatic experience. Even though it's just a dream, it can become a traumatic experience in not the dream state but in the awakened state as well. So then fear arises, that arises, this arises. So I think the second level of practice during the dreaming state is that awareness of your own reaction to the understanding of the of the of the awareness of the dream, right? So that is there. Then the third level, now you go gradually deeper into practice. Once you are able to recognize, I think it's the same thing, but it's just harder in the dream because the conscious state of the mind is not really stabilized. So because at the moment when you are not in the dreaming state, then the conscious state of the mind is on another level, right? We are aware of what we are saying, we are aware of what we are doing, especially in regards to just generally we are aware, whereas in the dreaming state that awareness is not there. So anyway, so that recurrent in the stream of creating karmic imprints, I think it works in the same manner, especially in regards to your emotional reaction. Maybe not the dream itself. We can't judge the dream, right? So if you have a good dream, doesn't mean that you are creating good karma. If you have a bad dream, doesn't mean you are creating a bad karma. That is just the state of the, what we say, subtle mind, bringing up all kinds of different, what we say, forms and what we say, images and stuff like that. This is more to do with conditioning of the daytime rather than the nighttime itself, or more to do with the conditioning of the state of awareness rather than the state of non-awareness, right? So that is completely different. Mm. So judging whether you have created good karma based on what you are dreaming, I don't think that's the right way. A lot of people tend to do that. Oh, I had a bad dream. Maybe it's my bad karma. Maybe something bad is going to happen. Maybe that, maybe this. That I don't think is the right means. I think the more harsh the dream, the more you are able to, if you are truly practicing in this, then more harsh the dream, the more you are able to speculate your mind or bring up more awareness or pinpoint down to where the emotions are, really, what do we say, truly indebted in, right? In that, in engraved in. So that would be the case. uh, Once that awareness of your reaction is there, then it's not just how you react, because in the dream normally our reaction no control, right? I mean, not forget about the dream. I think even in real life, for a lot of people, in our own reaction, there's no control, right? Someone says something, immediately, we explode with emotions, whether it be anger, whether it be hatred, whether it be jealousy, whether it be, self-centeredness, whether it be happiness, whatever it may be, we just explode. So this happens in real life. So in dream, at the beginning, it certainly will happen, right? So that is there. Now, the state of awareness in your reaction, now you tend to build more of a control or more of a strong grasp onto the state of awareness in the dream state. So now, in that case, now you are taking one step further into the practice of applying your practice in the dream state itself. So that's where I mentioned application of the awareness of, for example, of what do we say, renunciation, or the view of emptiness or bodhicitta. So now, I mean, of course, ultimately, the view of emptiness is always going to be the core practice of applying. So in the dream state, even when there's fear, then recognizing the fear, understanding the fear, letting the fear arise, and seeing the fear as just an emotional reaction, and then truly analyzing the fear and understanding that the fear is not, it's conventional, it's not there. The fear is arose based on all kinds of different images that the dream is, able to create. Fear is arising based on the speculation or our understanding of how the dream is. In reality, the dream is just the dream, doesn't truly exist. Yeah, non-existence, it's its own essence, sort of that sort of thing. So then the application of the view of emptiness, understanding that this is merely labeled. Yeah, if when you what we say, listen to Gyabje Lama Thupten Sopa Rinpoche teaching, I think Rinpoche always mentions mm, the 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 concept of merely labeling. Taktsam, yeah, in Tibetan we say taktsam, par taktsam. Yeah, the taksam, the label part is not just label, but it's partaksam. Partaksam is labeling onto it. It's not just our mind creating the label, saying, ah, yeah, it is something like this. Ah, it's just a dream. But it's understanding that you are the one labeling. Partakpa. So that, I think, is the fine line of the practice itself. Of course, applying compassion, applying the 6 parameters during the dreaming state, that in itself is already growing your practice. But the ultimate goal is, of course, understanding that it is merely labor, is not truly existent. Is existent, but conventionally existent through the conventional view itself. So that application, I think, is on the same. And then that one, now once you are able to do that one, then you are truly creating the karmic, what we say, states, the karmic states of creation. Yeah, the karmic states of application, the karmic states of conditioning. Yeah, so the building of your own conditioning. Now that's where the true practice starts to happen. So just to make clear, the that the idea itself is not just knowing the dream, understanding the dream, and then once understanding the dream, then once you know the dream, then you say, okay, I'm aware of the dream, and therefore in my dream I saw this and this and this. Now what does that mean? How is that implementing? How does that affect me? How does that create, what kind of karma does it create? It that doesn't have, I don't think that is very linked with the application of the practice itself. So just something to make clear. uh, any questions in regards to our last session?
I had a question, Rinpoche.
Who's
I'll
that?
turn my camera on. Let me see.
Yes.
Can you see me? I think. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Yes, please.
In the last session, you were talking about, and I think you just touched on it briefly, about awareness of awareness. So I was
Yes,
under the
yes.
impression that once you were in the clear light state,
Yes.
once you became aware
Yes.
of awareness, then you were
Yes.
no longer in that clear light state, because awareness comes from conceptual mind. So once you get into
Yes.
being aware
Yes.
of that, of not being aware, then you're
Yes.
no
Yes.
longer in that state. Can you clarify
So
that, please?
there's, I think, so there's around 4 different levels of awareness. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
I think we talked about the clear light state last time as well. Clear light state is Rigpa itself. Now this one depending on practice. If you go into the Dzogchen practice, then it's known as the state of the Rigpa itself. If you go into the Sutric practice, then clear light state is mainly in regards to what we say in regards to recognizing. Yeah, that's the clear light state, recognition. Now, if you go into the tantric state, then the clear light state is different again, right? In the tantric state, the clear light state is more to do with very uh, subtle, we call it, right? Gross and subtle, right? So
Mhm.
extreme
Yep.
subtle, what we say, poses. So recognition of extreme subtle poses, that one. So I think depending on what clear light state you mean in regards to the practice, so this practice can be done from all kinds of different aspects. Like I said, it can be done from the Dzogchen aspect, it can be done from the tantric aspect, it can be done from the sutric aspect, it can be done from the anyway, there's sort of like many different aspects of practice. Generally, clear light state is just understanding the true nature of the mind itself is, I think, generally sort of like linked to all of the different clear light states, is just understanding the true nature of the mind. So the mind is neither I think in the text it is described as they say the sky, right? It's like understanding the sky itself, right? Not seeing the planes, not seeing the stars, not seeing the what we say the clouds, not seeing the rain, not seeing the change, just the nature of the sky itself. So something like that, I think, more to do with the clear light state. um when it comes to recognition of the when it comes to the recognition of the different clear light states, then I think awareness is extremely important, because at the nature, innate nature of the practice itself is applying the true, the ultimate reality, yeah, the ultimate, what we call the ultimate truth, as we say, right? So um, understanding the ultimate truth and applying the ultimate truth into the practice, that is the whole idea of the practice itself. Just what do we say? The concept of ecopause, just sitting there, letting thing come, letting thing go. This is a method. This is a practice. This is not the goal. Yeah, it's like calmness, right? Calmness is not the goal. Calmness is a method to understand how to deal with external things. Yeah. So, for example, if I have a lot of things going on in my life here and there, all kinds of my enemies, friends, that family, money, all kinds of different. So I have all kinds of different things going on, and that is affecting my mind. So now my mind, it's affecting my mind because my mind inability to deal with all of this. Yeah, and the reason why the inability to deal with all of this is because all of the emotions, yeah, what we call destructive emotions, these are all there. And because of the destructive emotions and because of our view, how we are seeing things, yeah, because a lot of the things we are always external blaming. I think this is one of the main reasons, right? We externalize everything. But then when we start to see the nature of the mind, that then is similar to the concept of calm, right? So when you're able to calm yourself down in this crisis, then what it gives you is it gives you the leverage, it gives you the post, it gives you the state, it gives you the ability to now, once everything is empty, now you start, it's like a box, right? You throw everything inside, then you don't know what is where and how is, how everything is packed, sort of thing. But then once you take everything out, now you are able to put, okay, I put this one there, then you can set everything up. So something like that, I think. So the concept of your mind, understanding your mind, is the nature of the mind is to encourage you and give you the right motivation, thought, view, perspective, and emotional support, or whatever you may need in order to deal with understanding the nature of reality itself. Because no matter if someone if I have a very what a self-centered problem, then no matter how much I tell you, oh, you know the problem is not there, the problem is, yeah, here, then how am I going to deal with it? It's still going to say, oh, but that means you are blaming me. You think I am the problem. You see, so this is how our mind works, right? Yeah, someone calls me a dog, then he's calling me a dog, he's calling me a dog. Then my teacher comes to me and says, no, whether he calls you a dog or not doesn't matter, because you are not a dog in reality. You are who you are. And then I say, but then why is my emotion reacting like this? Then he says, oh, because it's you, it's the grasping attitude. Then I'm going to, if my mind is not in the state of understanding the true nature of reality, or the true state of my mind, then I'm going to say, you're starting to blame me. He's the one who called me a dog. I didn't call myself a dog. You see, so that kind of reaction sort of appears. So I think the state of reacting is, I mean, the state of awareness is not on the basis of just understanding the clear light state. The clear light state is like utensil. I think more like something you can carry with you, so that you can understand on a more sort of like a smooth uh, path in understanding the true nature of reality, or or the ultimate truth, or what we call the application of the view of emptiness, and the application of what we say wisdom and method. So the application of mainly is the application of wisdom and method, but on what state, right? So the state is different. The status of applying the wisdom and the method, that one, the thing itself, the mind itself needs to be ready to apply it. So that is there. Now in regards to, I think in regards to developing awareness of awareness, that one I think is more conceptual in understanding the mind being able to focus on different levels of what we see, right? I think this nowadays I think is similar to the concept of what do we say dimensions. Yeah. So you have the two-dimensional aspect of things. You have the four-dimensional, three-dimensional aspect of things, four-dimensional aspect of things. And the more you start to see the different dimensions, the perspective starts to change. I think this is when when you are learning how to draw or how to create things or that or this, we learn about dimensions, and this concept based on the dimensions, then we start to see things. We start to bring things forward and push things backward in how we are seeing things, right? So I think it's something similar to that. With practice comes understanding the different dimensions, and based on the understanding of different dimensions, then comes application of different methods. Something like that, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
that made sense. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I have another clarifying question, but I'll ask you after you talk about meditation.
Okay. Okay.
All right. You're good.
Okay. So yeah, so something like that. Uh, I think goal different in regards to what we say practice. So anyway, that is that. Uh, 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 so anyway, sangye chedan zoge sonam la janju bada dane gyapsun che tage zin soge be sonam ge dola penje sangye to sangye chedan zoge sonam la janju bada dane gyapsun che tage zin soge be sonam ge dola penje sangye to ba sho sangye chedan zoge son janju bada dane gyapsun che tage zin soge be sonam ge dola penje sangye to. Okay, so so what we say practice of um, samdhem bardo. Sambatembo is stabilization of the mind. Now uh, uh, what do we say many different translations in regards to something. Some say meditative absorption or something like that. Then also in regards to that the application of concentration also comes, and then stable awareness. Yeah, I think this stable mind, stable awareness, so these are all different translations, but I think within the concept of something, I think all of this come together. There's also absorption of what do we say of ecopause. Then also concentration is there. Then also awareness is there. So no matter how you want to use, I think utilization of understanding that something is not one thing. It's a compilation of all of that. Then something bardo. Yeah, so definitely in the concept of understanding the state itself. Then when we are in when we are in true awareness or true focus, then that itself I think is also another, or what do we say, another state of being itself. Because unlike how do we say, unlike our general state of understanding, the something state itself has its own categorization of understanding how things are. So similar to, like I mentioned just earlier about dimensions here. Every time you understand a dimension, then you start to see things differently in the different dimensions. So I think something is also a different dimension itself. So the pardo, the state, the state itself, utilization of that strength of ecopos, strength of single pointed And this, I think, again, has everything to do with awareness, right? Building your awareness. So anyway, something parto more, what do we say, more cognizable in that way. So um, so I think within Sa and Lam, yeah, within the states itself, I think this state of the Samden Pardo occurs within all different bardos. This is one of the main bardos that you can utilize in every different state of the state of practice itself. So utilize it's sort of like a tool that you can utilize in every state of the bardo in order to what do we say, in order to sort of like power your practice, right? So that is that. I think especially the practice now utilizing the Samden Pardo mainly happening in the what do we say in the what do we say Pardo of life, right? So um, mainly in the Pardo of life, then through the practice of Pardo of life, then you're able to build the what do we say habituality of bringing that Samden Pardo in the state of the dreaming, yeah, in the pardo of dreaming. So mainly main practice in the pardo of life, so that you can bring it up in the pardo of dream and utilize it in the pardo of dying. Yeah, and then utilizing pardo of dying brings such a strong implementation, like I said, yeah, before sleeping. If you can build good motivation, good thought, positive, then the karmic consistency of that one continues. So if you are able to awaken that someday sambatempo, yeah, if you are able to utilize that something pardo at the pardo of dying, then the true pardo, or we say pardo of I think they call it Pardo of Dharmata, right? So Dharmata. So within the Pardo of Dharmata itself, then the whole consistency is there, the whole state of Pardo of Dharmata, then the continuity of what do we say of the practice continues. Yeah. So something like that, I think mainly the reason behind but the like I said, the utilization of it is in all different states of the pardo. Yeah. So I think so this pardo is within the text is mentioned that this pardo is experienced repeatedly during all the different bardos in regards to practitioners, and in the training what we say mainly that experience itself is the training, so the utilization of future pathos, right? So something like that. So within that, then I think arisation, utilization, or what is the practice means. Yeah, this one is within the like I said, mainly consist of the four. Yeah, mainly I think not mainly consist of the four, but the four categories. The first one, definitely shine. Shine simne pe thap kula din rangimi kula jida do do nyapor jone bi shinjangi dewa, we say. So stabilization through the what we say true joy, establishment of the true joy practice of being able to ego pose or comply the nine methods, simne pe thap ku, the what is it, nine methods of concentration. So what we call what do we say, shine. Yeah, I think in Sanskrit shamatha, and in um, Western translation they call it calm abiding. Yeah, so that practice. Then the second one, lakdong is seeing over or seeing more, I think, something like that. But yeah, inside, I think they call it special insight or something like that. Yeah, and in Sanskrit, vipassana. Then comes Mahamudra, yeah, the Mahamudra practice. Then, of course, Dzogchen. Within the Dzogchen, there's Tekjo Dzogchen, Togyal Dzogchen. This is a different, different lineage practices. So anyway, not a big implementer of lineages, so I don't know, but anyway, within the practice itself there's this different means, right? So that is there. Then uh, something Bardo normally occur during deep mindfulness concentration. So that's one moment. Then moments of what we say, moments when our minds are not distracted, right? So the something arises. Yeah, we say sambatempo arises during these states. So deep meditation, one of them. Then in the state of non-distraction, when your mind is not distracted, yeah, doesn't mean that you need to be in deep meditation to be not distracted. There is awareness when you are focused as well. So when there's no distraction, also there's something arises. Then what do we say, uh, in conceptual movement, yeah, within the conceptual movement, then when there's what do we say, clarity, momentary clarity, sometimes uh, I think this experience we all have. We're sitting and then sometimes we're thinking, and sometimes something clicks. We say something clicks, right? And then we go, oh. So I think in those states also there's a strong arising of the Samdhin Parto as well. So one of those is explained in this. Um, so anyway, something Pardo not required full absorption or full uh, awareness or full concentration. Any moment of non-dual awareness, sort of like something Pardo arises. Yeah, as long as there's non-dual awareness, I think, and there's a lot of chances that the something Pardo can arise the something Pardo. So it's not what do we say strict. Some people, of course, these levels of practice, but then some people they go, they think, oh yeah, in order to arise this bharto, then you need to go into 1 month dark meditation, as they call it. So there's so they close all their rooms, they take all the light out, then they sit. I mean, definitely this is a practice, but every practice there's always a right time. Just thinking that the practice means full ecopause and then going into it, what is it, drastic, what is it, drastic steps into practicing, then sometimes if the mind is not ready, then it can be a little bit of a, what is it, more of a, what do we say, more of a obstacle than than a tool to utilize. So anyway, just keep clear that the bardo is not required for full absorption. Yeah, the bardo arises in any moment of non-dual awareness. Yeah, so that is there. So I think mainly in regards to that, then the suspension of ordinary mental activities. Yeah, this one is general. I think the start normally happens from that suspensing, ordinary mental activities, especially in regards to reaction. Uh, mm, so awareness, I think every practice, I always mention that every practice starts from awareness of the mind, awareness of the you, yeah, or awareness of the I. Yeah, awareness of the I, awareness of the mind, and the awareness of the reaction. So these three things. Yeah, so I, mind, and reaction. I, to pinpoint down the true existing nature that you feel, is not true existing nature is as an ultimate truth, but conventionally true existing nature is based on I, right? So I see, I feel, I hear, I taste, I like, I don't like, so on and so forth. So that is the first, I think, the first sort of like the first grasping point. So then comes the mind, then is the awareness. Yeah, awareness in the nature is that function of the body, function of the mind, two completely different natures. Normally, function of the body is based on feeling, based on senses. Yeah, functioning of the mind is based on logic, based on what we say, mm, uh, uh, I don't know if people use manipulation in the right, if whether that is the right correct word or not, but something like that, a manipulation of the mind, yeah, reasoning and logic that you can implement in order to change the perspective in the mind or to change the way the mind sees things. So this is why, even if it's hurtful to the body, then sometimes our mind, because the logic behind the manipulation behind the mind is aware of something completely different. Therefore, even if it's harmful, therefore we still tend to do. For example, drinking, whether it be smoking, whether it be drinking, whether it be fighting, whether it be reacting in certain ways, that this, so all of this is there as well. Because how we see the difference, the two complete difference in the perspective of applying, right? So that is there. And then, of course, through that, then gross thought, uh, through through the suspension of ordinary, what we call mental activity, then gross thoughts temporarily subside, bring down the gross thoughts temporarily. So ultimately bringing down is the goal, but for now, I think for the beginning of the practice is always temporary, right? So temporary being able to subdue emotions, not emotions, but subdue what we say gross mental states or activities, thoughts, yeah. So that is there. Then uh, what do we say, that the concept of non-duality, right? What was it? How do we say it? Non-duality. Yeah, duality. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right or not, but non-duality. Yeah, that one I think is another concept in bringing in regards to temporarily bringing down. Right? So. mm, Mainly in the text, it talks about the mind uh, resting in its own place, right? So this is, I think, just letting the mind, uh, just letting the mind see things. I think one of the first practices of meditation is like that. You sit there, you see the emotions come, you see the emotions go, no reaction, just seeing how things work. This we tend to do a lot with nature. I think people who look at National Geography and all of these animal channels, they just awareness is there, just looking. Oh, they do that, they do this. Oh, they come here. Oh, they go there. Oh, they when they're hungry, they kill each other. Oh, just that, no reaction, no, no mental implementation of any kinds of judgment or anything like that. So that is there, just seeing things as the mind sees it. Yeah. So how do we say? Seeing things as they are, and seeing things as they are with the mind as it is. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. So seeing things as they are with the mind as it is. Yeah, the mind as it is. So I think something like that, more of a very, and that I think sort of like so builds what do we say, our builds our nature of how our mind reacts to things. Because concepts dissolve, in the text it's mentioned. So when the sun comes out and there's mist, yeah, there's mist, it's foggy, misty, sort of like damp. Then once the sun comes up, then the mist slowly disappears, right? So something like that, right? So when our awareness comes, then this mist disappears. Yeah, so it's something like that. So it's mainly on the concept of building that ecopause, right? So that is there. Then appearance, I think, secondly comes the appearance of clarity and bliss. Yeah. Uh, what was it? Salva. Yeah, salva, clarity. Yeah, salva. So that is, I think, in regards to vivid knowing. Yeah. So appearances now, once you're able to just look at things as they are, then the implementation of how you see things becomes much more clearer. because now there's no more what do you say, your mind saying that, your mind saying this, you reacting to it, the emotions coming up, that this, then reason, logic, all of these, this is all disappeared. So clarity arises. So just like example, when the sun arises, then the mist goes away, then you start to see things more clearly, right? So in the same way, yeah, so clarity arises. Then through that clarity, then I think one of the things I always say, when I say in practice you need to see joy, you need to see joy, I think something like that. When clarity there, then joy tends to arise through that clarity. Yeah, not just because most likely that when the mind is just in the state of its true nature, yeah, clear and knowing, as we say, this is the definition of the mind in the text described is sesi rigpa, clear and knowing. So when it's in that state itself of clear and knowing, nothing else, just the nature of the mind itself, then that's when I think true joy starts to arise. So I think mainly through that clearness, then there is ease, there's joy, there's comfort. Yeah, discomfort comes from understanding things. Yeah, not that you shouldn't understand things. This is just the beginning of practicing in regards to knowing the mind and contemplating them. I mean, using the what do we say, um, the power of the clarity and awareness in order to what we say, see true nature of reality or the ultimate truth. So utilizing that, you need to bring your mind into the state of clear and awareness, right? So it's one of the first states of the practice, right? So that I think. And then mitokpa, third one is mitokpa. I think mitokpa tokpa. Tokpa is uh, thought, or tokpa is like perceiving, cognizing sort of thing. Mitokpa is non-cognizing, non-thought, yeah, non something like that. So anyway, absence of what we say, uh, discursiveness, right? Absence of the what do we say, the need. I think this is a good way to put it, the absence of the need, the self need to impose thoughts and views and perspectives and application and understanding and so on and so forth. So this is all of those things going on, right? So the no need of all of that, just seeing for what it is with what it is. Yeah, so just seeing nature as it is with the mind as it is, something like that, I think. So that would consist of the appearance itself arising. So the nature of the appearance arising itself, something like that. So then I think through that, then our ability to heighten, what do we say, uh, subtle awareness, right? So then comes through that comes our uh, ability to heighten subtle awareness, right? And that one, I think, what do we say, uh, um, our what do we say, not view, perceptions, yeah, our perception become more refined. Yeah, senses, yeah, sense of time then start to dissolve. Yeah, then the body awareness also starts to fade. Yeah, something like that. I think in the text, I have no experience, but in the text mentioned something like that. Then of course attachment to the experience becomes sort of like a, what we say, the obstacle itself, understanding that the attachment towards these experiences is more of an obstacle in regards to the nature of mind. Yeah, so this one we can experience every day, I think. Yeah, with our body, then sometimes we cannot see, then we need to go to the doctor, go there, go here. Then sometimes we cannot hear, we need to go there. Then our hair turn white, then we need to put color on it. Then our skin turns dry, then we need to apply cream on it. Then when it's too that, then we need to remove the cream. And then our body here cold, here that, this, then we need something to wear on our knees, we need something to wear on hands, we need something to wear our eyes, yeah, something to wear on neck. So the consistency of the needing is based on our inability to see that. Yeah, the what we say, that attachment towards these experiences, right? So basically, based on that, then I think the experience is, I think, like I mentioned, yeah, what do we say, perceptions sort of start to become very refined. Yeah, our way of seeing things start to change. Then senses of what we say, senses of how we are experiencing, mainly I think in regards to time, sort of like dissolve. And then the body awareness sort of also starts to fade. So I think mainly through that, right? Then I think what we say, our view, application of uh, uh, what we say, danger, dangers, and what do we say, pitfalls, right? They call it dangers and pitfalls in regards to uh, attachment to meditative experiences. That also, I think, this also awareness has to be there in regards to these, because now we go more deep into it, because we do feel the bliss. So after seeing the nature, after seeing uh, true, after seeing what is, with the mind, with the mind just as it is, then our experience, when the bliss starts to come out, then we start mistaking bliss for liberation. Yeah, that one, again, we have to know, yeah, clarity mistaken for wisdom. Yeah, so these two things very, very, uh, like I said, the moment I explain, oh, there's going to be joy, then, oh yeah, then oh yeah, that might be liberation. So now, yeah, so now we don't mistake, yeah, that sense of blissness with the liberation. And then we don't mistake uh, clarity, yeah, with wisdom. So like I said, when you are in that pose, eco pose, then clarity, just seeing things for what they are, absorbing things for what they are, and seeing things for what they are, and just recognizing things for what they are. You start to think, oh, now true wisdom starting to arise. My mind is able to see things for what they are, and I already see my mind itself being very clear. Now this is again sort of like our own illusion, yeah, because now we are mistaking wisdom with clarity. So clarity will be there, but then application of wisdom comes after recognizing the clarity. Because recognizing, main reason for the recognizing of the clarity is not because the wisdom is, comes out of the clarity, is because the clarity is used in order to apply the wisdom, because without clarity, application of the wisdom becomes hard. Yeah, so like I said, it's not uh, just emptying your box. You might feel, oh, but then there's so many things on the ground now. Now wisdom is learning how to, how to put everything back in neatly and nicely and organize, so that is wisdom. Yeah, so don't mistake that. Yeah. So that is there, I think. Uh, then the other one, danger, the other pitfall, I think, falling into neutral absorption, as we call it, right? What do we say? Yeah, absorption, I think they in English. So that is, I think, a lot of people mistake, uh, uh, what do they call it? Nihilism, yeah, nihilism, yeah. A lot of people mistake nihilism with the concept of the view of emptiness. Yeah, so something like that, I think that is there. Yeah, blankness. Oh, blankness is the true goal of the view of emptiness. So that is also there. Then subtle dullness is also there. Yeah, because no matter, like I said, there's many states of the mind. Yeah, I think on the first day or the second day we are talking about the mind and the different states of the application of practice. Then within the mind, there's, of course, mainly the nine different states of the mind. Subtle, sort of like intermediate, then or gross, intermediate, then subtle. Then within the gross itself, then there's gross, and then gross intermediate, gross subtle, right? Then in the intermediate also there's gross, there's what do we say? Intermediate, gross, intermediate, and intermediate subtle. And within the subtle state again, there's a gross subtle state, there's intermediate subtle state, then there's a subtle state. So because our recognition at the gross state, then we think, oh, we completely ignore the subtle state. And that also can become sort of like a uh, danger to our practice, because we think, okay, now I realize something on the gross state, therefore now I'm in that state of true practice, like what we call samadhi practice. Yeah, I think similar to the concept of maha, I call it. I always say, what's so maha? We say we are Mahayana practitioners, What's so maha about our practice? So something like that, no? When we are aware that, oh yeah, I know about compassion, I know about how compassion leads to liberation, I know how to apply compassion as the method, because I have the wisdom of the view of emptiness and I understand it. Now our mind starting to say, oh yeah, okay, that is what is so maha. But then application, there's no application. So again, in when it comes to understanding, then yes, maha. But then when it comes to application, where is the maha? Then when it comes to realization, then where is the maha? When it comes to attainment, again, where is the maha? Something like that. So I think same concept applied here as well, in regards to subtle dullness. Just aware of the gross level of dullness is not valid enough to reform as what we say, as the practice being finished or done. uh, so that is there. Then of course, through this awareness of, I think, of that ego post of awareness, as like I said, I think, just to make it easier, uh, when our mind is able to see things for what they are, yeah, you just absorb, you start to see the skies. I think this experience I have when I'm on the mountains. Yeah, I go to one of the peaks, yeah, up there. Then you're very calm, good fresh air, and your mind is very relaxed. You're looking out, and you just looking at the mountains, very majestic, beautiful mountains out there, scenery, beautiful scenery. And then you're just looking at them, you're just mesmerized. Yeah, or they say mesmerized is a good word, yeah. So you just mesmerized with the mountains. There's no judgment. Oh, the mountain is big, the mountain is small, mountain is this, mountain is that, there are climbers here, nothing like that. Just what do we say, in the moment sort of thing. And there, and then your mind is non-judgmental also. Your mind is at calm, very peace, just absorbing. Yeah. Then then the mind itself also at the state where it's at that peak state. We feel like it's at that peak state of calmness, of joy. So something like that, right? Uh, I think if that is because our mind sees things in a different way, but then in to bring that state in itself, in every existing moment, especially when practicing, in the, I think, the nine states of what we say, shamatha, nine states of calm abiding, shine, based, I think, mainly on that ego pose, on that self, what do we say, not self, single pointedness. Enjoying? Bored? Mm. So that is there, yeah. So anyway, I think, yeah. So that, and then more importantly, in regards to that practice, I think, just awareness that, that the ego, the constant existing I is always there. Yeah, so then, when you reach that state, then just because our experience is so settled, and there's so much just calmness and joy. Then the moment that is there, then again our thought goes back to, oh, practice. Then comes back to the understanding, realization. Yeah. Then comes to, oh, maybe I've achieved some kind of state. Oh, maybe I've achieved some kind of samadhi. Oh, maybe I've achieved some kind of, shamatha practice. Or maybe, even when it comes to, the samdhen bardo. Oh, maybe I've achieved the first level of the samdhen bardo. That starts to come up, arise. This is the ego. It is always there. Yeah. Even when you are very happy and calm, then the ego starts to arise. Mm, the nature of the ego. So again, something to deal with. That will be something that you will have to deal with over and over and over again. So, when you have that feeling, then, oh, maybe I'm a good practitioner or a good meditator. Yeah, so that was constantly coming up. Now you need to understand the moment that comes up, then again gone. That experience of that ego pose also gone. So this is, I think, gross pride at its peak. Then, as you go practicing, then then subsiding, what is pushing down the ego slowly, slowly, slowly. Then also on the subtle level, that same experience comes up. Yeah. Also saying that, oh yeah, I'm not a good practitioner. No, no, I don't know anything. That again, with the intention of trying to prove that you are very, what do we say? What is the word? Humble. Yeah. You want to prove that you are humble. So then you say, oh no, no, I'm not a practitioner. Oh no, no, I'm not good. That again, sort of like manipulation in bringing up the ego, but in a way that is not, not very forward. So these kind of obstacles will keep arising, and this is the nature. Like I said, this is the nature of the mind, nature of the I itself. As long as there's no recognition of the I is going to come up and say, "Hey, I'm here, I'm here." And it does it in all kinds of very manipulative ways. So these are all obstacles. Yeah, you need to realize that these are not the practice, these are all obstacles. The moment the arising is there, then the obstacle is also there. So anyway, that is the what do we say? Mm, yeah, the state. Then I think now we uh, so now we go more into the concept of proper training within the Samdhin Bhardo itself. Yeah, recognizing there are, I think, a few different. Let's So let's categorize it in three different, I think easier. Let's categorize it in three categories, right? The first category, recognizing our experience, that would be the first category. Then the second one would be continuity of the mindfulness. I think that would be sort of like the second category. Then third one is again the combination of Shine and Lakdong. What do we say? A combination, union of calm abiding and shamatha. So these three, that's, I think, easier to make. So these three, yeah. What was the first one I said? Uh, Recognizing our experience. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, recognizing our experience. So in regards to recognizing our experience, I think first one we talked about recognizing the awareness itself. Then um, uh, then I think the second one would be chasing, not to chase the status, right? So we do not alter, yeah, we do not fabricate, and then we do not follow, right? So this one, I think the three concepts: no altering, no what we say, fabricating, and then no following. So these three things in the recognition itself of the status of awareness, right? So in the status of awareness, when building that, if you talk about experiential, then in the state of awareness, like I said, main concept, single pointed concentration, I think works in that way. And this is why I think a lot of meditators, me not being a meditator, I am not sure if I should be what we say, not meditator as in what we say. I do uh, analytical meditation. I'm more trained in, whereas in what do you call meditative meditation, this one I don't have much experience, neither do have. Yeah, so anyway, in that state of awareness, then I think during the karma biting experience itself, if you have, of course, I think a lot of you have already done a lot of karma biting courses, vipassana courses. Yeah, a lot of people do these courses. So in the state itself, I think when you start to see your mind arising, you start to see the flexibility of the mind. And when the flexibility of the mind, then the changeability of the mind also arises. This is one of the understandings that arise through the practices. So single pointed concentration, focus on a certain thing. This is why you use what we say marme wa light, candlelight. Yeah, you use the candlelight to focus. Yeah, so a lot of people use candlelight. A lot of people also use the breath, focusing on the breath going in and out. And this is in order to use what we say, develop intunement with what we were talking about earlier, where we talked about uh, seeing things as they are with the mind as it is. Yeah, so this is, I think, the whole concept. So even in the concept of the shamatha, shine, all 9 levels of the shine is similar. Definitely, I think we can go deeper if you want to. Um, but first we finish this Samdhem part though, and after that, if you feel like we need to go a little bit deeper into shamatha and vipassana, maybe we can go that deeper into that as well. But like I said, mine is no experiential. This is more analytical perspective, right? So experiential, I think you can. A lot of you, I'm sure you have done vipassana and shamatha, karma abiding, and vipassana meditation or practices. So I'm sure much more experienced in that. So anyway, from the analytical perspective, then maybe we can go deeper into it. So yeah, anyway, that would be the first. Then in regards to the continuity of the mindfulness, that's also in the 9 levels. Four of the 9 levels are based on the continuity of mindfulness, or the continuity of the single pointed concentration, right? So that's within shamatha. Within vipassana, then there's 4 different levels of the vipassana. So two of them again are concentrated on the clarity or focus, and also on the mindful, what is continuity of the mindfulness. And this one, I think, has everything to do with the concept of karma again. And like I said, when you understand karma, you understand continuity. Karma no different from continuity. Karma no different from conditioning. Karma no different from cause. Karma no different from effect. So these are all synonyms. Yeah, we're just using it in different ways in understanding different things, but it's the exact same thing. So basically building the rhythm. Yeah, karma is building rhythms, whether it be mental habituation, whether it be physical habituation, conditioning, yeah, to build that rhythm. So continuity, again, like I said, it's sort of like the method to use in order to construct. So continuity of the mindfulness, I think, based on that. Then if you want to bring different kinds of practice, I think Gyabje Lama Thupten Zopa Rinpoche very, very nicely concludes this practice, in regards to compassion. So Rinpoche says, eat with compassion, sleep with compassion, do walk with compassion, die with compassion, do everything with compassion. So exact same thing. Now we are not concentrating on compassion, of course, we are concentrating more on what we say, mindfulness, clarity, yeah, uh, um, the concept of awareness. So eat with awareness, sit with awareness, mindfulness. Eat with mindfulness, sit with mindfulness. So that sort of thing. So within the text, it's talked about the four different methods. Yeah, walking, eating, speaking, and resting. So these are the 4 different levels mentioned in the text in regards to continuity of the mindfulness or the practice itself. So the Samdhem Bardo, when you bring the Samdhem Bardo into walking, into what do you say, eating, then into speaking, and then into resting. then that is the transformation part, I think. Yeah. So meditation, based on the meditation bardo, right? Then life, then continuous practice, right? So when you are in the awareness state itself of the meditation bardo, samdhe bardo, when you are in the state of awareness, like I said, in the state of awareness, not awareness of anything else, but the awareness of things as they are, with the mind as it is. So that awareness itself. So when you're in the state of that, then that is the samdhen bardo. Then the practice uh, of that awareness throughout walking, eating, what was it? Walking, eating, talking, and resting in these four different states. Then comes the practice, right? So that is the practice. So you know. First is the taste. Yeah, through the experience, then is the taste, then through the taste, then is the continuity of the practice. So something like that. That one. Then in the, I think the union, the coming together of the shine and Haldong, come abiding, and what is Haldong? Special insight. So within that, then I think the shamatha stabilizes the thing, and then the vipassana liberates, right? So this is the concept, the shamatha shine rabdu dubel Haldong ki thoma shine tsa. So yeah, so anyway, within the text itself, shine rabdu dubel Haldong ki thomashine zhajiangs. So a lot of people nowadays go into vipassana practice. Oh, vipassana is like this fast way to understanding clarity, or understanding awareness. In the practice, in the text, is mentioned that before vipassana you must practice shamatha. Without shamatha practice, vipassana no use. So vipassana shine rabdu dubel hatong kis. Yeah? So after practicing shine completely, then comes lakdong. Yeah? Shine rabdu dubel hatong, thoma shine tsa. So in order to develop the special insight, first you need stabilization. Yeah, so shine is must. I think same thing goes on to tantra as well. Yeah, now yeah, tantra is the fastest way, is the fastest method. Oh, you can realize, you can you go inside like this and fast, enlightenment and that and this. But then it only fast because of the three principal aspects of the path. So again, I always mention this, I always make it very clear, because my teacher made it very clear for me that if you want to go into tantra, you must have the three principles. You must have realization of the three principal aspects of the path. Yeah, within realization, there are different realizations, of course. Not, if not, what do we say? Uh, um, Zume is what? Effortless. If not effortless realization, at least you need realization through effort. So this is there. This is mentioned in the text. This is mentioned in the scriptures. Mentioned in the teachings. Mentioned by the Buddha many, many, many times. But this is nowadays fully ignored by a lot of teachers. They give higher yoga tantra, higher yoga this, highest yoga that, and all kinds of different, tantric that and tantric this, and saying the promoting tantra here and there and everywhere. And then some use it as an excuse, saying, oh, now is what is the Kali Yuga, now is degenerate time. So even if you don't have, then you see, like imprint, as an imprint you need to take. I'm not so sure about that. Now I'm not going to confirm, but I'm not so sure about that. So I think same thing within the practice of vipassana and shamatha. Again, practice of shamatha has to come before that. So without insight, then calm abiding, we say blinds, right? And without calm abiding, then what do we say? Insight, especially insight, cannot arise. So that is that. So this is the union of the two. Mm. Then keep track of the time. Yes, very good. So yeah, so then I think in relationship with the training, relationship or the training what we say, death and other bardos, training of the bardo of Dhamata especially, then recognition of the meditation, the what we say, those who are familiar with the something, sambatempo, what we say, the mind, stable mind, yeah, those who are familiar with the stable mind, then then there's no fear of the clear light, right? So I think this is one thing in regards to the clear light. The nature of itself, I think, is relaxing. But then, because if you are continuously in that state of clear light, then you can get nothing done. Yeah, this is also very dangerous. So there are practitioners who, I think especially in the Tingme, what is the Theravadan practice, yeah, when it comes to the different schools, also in the different schools, yeah, Thekje and Tengme. So within within the Tengme school, different schools such as Nyingtwe Rangya, the self-realizing and the solitary realizing and the what hearers only path, you start to see that once they go into the ego pose, then they cannot awaken. They cannot get anything done because they are in that ego pose all the time. They're in that in a clear light all the time. So this is why they say, the Buddha comes knocking, pak, 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 and then says, "You are not done." And you are here resting in clear light, just enjoying and relaxing. You are not done. You are not liberated. You're still in samsara. Yeah. So this is Allah ladin gebarja in the prayers we say, no, Allah ladin gebarja. This is the word of the Buddha. Allah is like, hey, wake up, wake up. You're not done. So that is there, in the state of ecopause. Once you go into that, um, then the whole concept of that calm, that shine itself, or the same with the Ranmikbola Jida Dunya Xingjangi Dewa. Xingjangi Dewa is like, you know, uh, I don't know how to explain, but in the state of joy that uh, the level of the joy is so high that there's nothing is starting to worry you anymore, sort of thing. And I think this one can happen during the practice as well, because if you reach a state of full joy and full, like I said, seeing things as they are, and then seeing things as they are with the mind as it is, then there's no imposing of anything. And when there's no imposing of anything, then there's no structure, no nothing. This is, I think, also a lot of people mistake that state to the realization of the view of emptiness, because they say, "Yeah, I see things as they are. I see the mind as it is." Yeah, then they think, oh, that is the nature of emptiness. The nature of emptiness is completely different from that. This is just the state of awareness that arises, and that state of awareness, once it's arisen, then what it brings is, it brings a lot of joy, and it's the focus of the joy that you are stuck in it. No, it's not the focus of the or it's not the what's attainment that is bringing you what do we say, fully focused onto the state. Is the joy that you are attached to that brings you fully to the state of non-awakening, as we call it. And a lot of practitioners in the past, I don't know, but it mentioned in the text that they are so engrossed in the joy, in the state, in that clear light state, that they even what do we say, because they need to exist in a body in order to, and then once they change their body, then they cannot, they cannot structure that experience. So what they do is, they sort of like shrink their body down, into something like what we call, like sort of like light state body. So they shrink it down to the light state body, and then they use that body, because that body doesn't decay, that body doesn't, the sort of like doesn't die, sort of thing. Yeah, the sort of like continuous sort of thing. So they shrink their body and then use that body so that they can experience this clear light state for a very, very long time. So this is why, what do we say, the Arya beings, whether it be the hearer only path or whether it be the solitary realizing path, these Arya beings, they normally, once they have achieved their Aryahood, then they go into that and then they just stay in that. There's no concern of the samsara, there's no concern of liberation, there's no concern of enlightenment. So that again, within the Mahayana path, that is very dangerous, right? That is not the right method, as we say. Anyway, different people say different things. Sometimes can be a little bit confusing, but something, of course, something to research and something to. By the way, I have sent the text of the six Bardos by Guru Rinpoche to Venerable Dundup. So I think he mentioned about it being available on the website or something like that. So if you are interested to go much deeper into all of these practices, I know I'm merely barely, not merely, barely touching anything. I'm just going through a little bit of detail here, a little bit of detail there, especially because I have no experience in all of that. But then on top of that, the text is very, very, very extensive, and what we do at the moment, we have one and a half to 2 hours a week. So anyway, I try to touch the more important aspects. But if you, like I said, if you want to go follow the text, step by step and all of that, then definitely I have took me some time to find the text. I'm extremely sorry, but it's in English, so I think maybe you can, if you feel like it, then you can definitely go through it. So yeah, that is there. Mm, where was I? Mm, mm. Yeah, so anyway, that is there. Then what do we say, familiarity with non-conceptual awareness, again, in relationship to death and other pardos, all the other different pardos. Then familiarity with non-conceptual awareness is sort of like, I think, quite similar. Similar awarenesses appear at death, also in the state of the pardo itself, pardo, what do you say, dharmata pardo, dharmata pardo, also same thing. And then also in the dream state as well, I think the same experience can be achieved, right? So that is that the this in the Samden Bhardo, what we say, clarity, yeah, Sambal Dembo, stable, yeah, stable mind. Then it's more like a rehearsal. Yeah, so Samden Bhardo is more like a rehearsal into the practice of the other Bhardos that are, what we say, that you can continue afterwards. Then I think in relevant in Dzogchen, there are certain specifics. Yeah. So then I think in Dzogchen, Rigpa is sort of like glimpse of of the what do we say, Samden Bhardo, or during the Samden, or during the Samden Bhardo, then you get a glimpse of the Rigpa itself. So that Rigpa is the clear light that the Dzogchen explained. So that clear light sort of like glimpse experience of the clear light state of Dzogchen can be done in the Samden Parto, so something like that. Then what we say, um, when some things we achieve faster when there is no pushing. Know what we say? Yeah, if we push ourselves, sometimes achieve faster when pushing, and some things we achieve faster without so much pushing. I think this is in regards to practice. I think that is there. So if you look at something like wealth, for example, yeah, if you work hard, if you put effort, if you push yourself, then you can build a lot of wealth. Yes, but then when it comes to something, yeah, the more you push yourself to focus, the less you can focus. Something like that, right? If I think a lot of teachers, they when they tell you, oh, don't focus on your nose, then that's normally the time when our mind goes to our nose and starts to think about our nose, right? And then is it, the more I tell you not to focus on it, the more you try to close the nose out, but the more the nose starts to appear, sort of thing, right? So same thing when you say, oh, don't think about a dog in specific, then you're trying to push your mind away from thinking of a dog, but that's when you are starting to think of a dog continuously, right? So I think within the Samden Bhardo, that tends to happen a lot. So this is why the understanding of the nature of the mind before the Samden Bardo is important, that the clear and awareness part, and then also the state of what do we say, relaxing the mind when it comes to being able to focus. So within Shine itself, what is shamatha itself, one of the equal poses of shamatha itself, one of the equal poses of practicing shamatha itself is with experience. And I think this is why we use visual implementation, or we use something that is in regards to our senses, like the breath itself. We can feel the breath, right? So the more what do we say, gross it is, the easier it is for our mind to focus. Of course, at the end level, it's a very subtle state, the subtle state of awareness that we are trying to awaken. But then when we are starting, it's always starting with the gross state of that practice itself. Okay, so that is that. What time is it? Mm. So so anyway, basically, yeah, something bardo of meditation. Uh, so it's one of the most accessible, what do we say, bardo training, sort of like states of the bardo. Yeah. Um, so mainly during what do we say, during the kiwe bardo, yeah, was the bardo of life itself. So mainly during that time, then most accessible, like I said, of training, especially in training of the understanding of the clear light, or understanding of the nature of the mind, understanding the nature of the experience. So these three things, I think, yeah. Then experience equals sort of like realization. Then through that realization comes the recognition. Then recognizing, I think, is the main key here. So main focus is recognizing that clear light state, that the nature, recognizing the nature of the mind. Then um, then I think, in regards to success, you cannot, during the bardo of life, and during the bardo of someday, and during the bardo of dreaming, you cannot define success. Success only comes when you are able to apply it during the bardo of death, and then bardo after death. So that's where the true success of the practice, yeah, comes. Meaning, you can truly say, okay, I'm successful that time. So if the pride doesn't want to come up, then you bring the pride up during the bardo of death, and during the bardo when you can actually, when you are able to, focus on the mind and bring that clear light state, so that you can utilize that clear light state into developing the the wisdom and the method. Yeah, what do we say? The three principle applying, because I think the main goal here is learning to apply the three principles, um the meditative state. There's many different meditative state, whether it be analytical meditation, whether it be, focus meditation, whatever meditation it may be. The main goal here is to learn to utilize the state of the bardo and the state of the death to contemplate, and not just contemplate, but use these different states where you don't have the body to rely on, so that you can not contemplate, you can use these states in order to practice on the three principal aspects of the path, so that the practice becomes so what do we say, so concrete. Yeah, the practice becomes concrete, and then not just concrete, but you're utilizing a state of bardo, a state of time that is so precious. And basically, normally, if when a person dies, and when a person is rebirth or whatever it may be, normally the utilization of the time during bardo is basically wasted with fear, wasted with anxiety, wasted with, all kinds of different emotional reflections of the past, and so on and so forth, and this is all waste. So main goal here in regards to the practice of the six bardo is so that you can utilize it without wasting it fully, in order to develop your path to enlightenment. So that, I think, the ultimate goal. So something like that. And like I said, shamatha, vipassana, um, once we finish the 6 bardos, if you do want to go deeper into it, we can go deeper into it. Like I said, I have no experiential uh, what we say things to share, but then when it comes to contemplative or when it comes to studying it, then I have. So maybe mainly my sharing will be done through that. And if any one of you has experiential, then of course that will be also something very valuable to share, so that people understand different experiences within the practice itself. Good. Everyone happy?
Rinpoche, there's one question in chat, and Susan wants to know if you can please again name the synonyms for karma. What were the other names for karma?
The text is Natural Liberation Paramahansa teaching on 6 path commentary by Getro. You can find the text on the event page under reading material. Yeah. Yes. Oh, karma. So karma, we have cause, then we have effect, then we have continuity, then we have condition, then we have karma. These are all synonyms, I think. Normally we use them as synonyms. We just use them in different what we say, uh, yeah, we use them in different sort of terms. When we talk about my, then we talk about karma. Then when we talk about something to do, then we talk about action. Then we talk about the present, then the present, then we talk about conditions or causes of the past. Then when we're talking about next, then we are talking about actions and conditioning of the present. So but basically I think the concept of continuity is the main. Continuity is developed in order to understand the concept of dependent origination. Continuity is developed in order to understand the concept of the nature of the, what we say, of the mind. Also establishing understanding of how the mind continues from life to life. That's also from the concept of conditioning. So karma makes life continue one life after another. But then how does karma make life continue? What do we say? How does karma was a method of utilizing to make life after life after life after life? Then comes the concept of continuity. So these all synonyms. I always like to say this. Gotcha. Action, yeah, action, yeah, action also. Mm. Okay, we're good on time, Sheila. We're good on time.
It's time now, but of course, if you remember something, we would love to stay and listen. So, and if anybody needs to leave, by all means, we will not be offended.
Yes. So yeah. So yeah, something like that. I think main practice here is through vipassana and shamatha and vipassana. But know that vipassana comes after shamatha, because first is important to what we say, uh, uh, stabilize. Yeah, stabilize. Then you start to then the realization comes through the stabilization. So shamatha first, then vipassana. And like I said, of course, Shamatha and Vipassana have its own, it's quite extensive in its own. So definitely, if you feel like it, then we'll go through it later on. But like I said, I have no experience, so sometimes I doubt whether I'm what do you say? I can uh, what we say, describe and talk about it. But then, like I said, in the studying program, we have studied it, and not just studying program, but also in the analytical part, we have sort of yeah. So that is there. But anyway, that one we keep for a later part. Mainly, Samdhyam Bardo consist of these two practices. Then, yeah, something like that. Any question? Sheila said someone had question, I think, yeah?
You've answered it. Thank you.
Mm. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah. So New Year is coming now. Today is what? 30th, 29th, 30th. So 2 more days, New Year coming. Yeah, with New Year, we have resolutions. Uh, uh, New Year resolutions. Yeah. So I think resolutions important in the sense, especially in regards to practice. So of course, make your resolutions during New Year, and maybe a new start. New, if you want to change your views, if you want to change your perspective, change your thoughts, change your aspect, change your development, change your karma, mainly change your karma. Yeah, then I think this a good time to make a resolution. I know even though in the perspective of what we say, of the dharma, of the principles, yeah, then ultimate truth doesn't matter today, New Year, tomorrow, every day is a New Year. But then because we have that concept of, yeah, time and aspect of year 2025 and 2026. So anyway, maybe based on that perspective, then make your resolutions, and then I hope you make strong resolutions, especially in regards to your practice, in regards to attainment, achievement, development. So that I think is most important. And then, like I said, we are followers of our gurus. So one of the main resolutions that we need to keep in mind is in regards to what do we say, our gurus and their wishes. So especially in regards to enlightenment, especially in regards to of course inviting our gurus back here to teach us and guide us. Uh, uh, we say until samsara ends. I know it's a little bit selfish to call the gurus until the samsara ends, but this is what we need. So anyway, definitely one of the dedications. Yeah. So like always, simchus chulam the lamla pajimewa, right? May my mind go towards Dharma. May the Dharma be the path. Then, while on the path of the Dharma, may there be no obstacles. So with that, Chanju Semjo Rinpoche, Magye Bana Yegi, Kyawanya Pame Boyang, Kone Kondo
Bayang
Pewa,
gong go to
Kone
power
Dwa
show.
Rinpoche, Magye Mate
Okay, panen kirje kewana pa me bayang gong ne gong do power show.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we good?
Thank you,
Any
Rinpoche.
question?
Thank
Someone
you.
has question? We good?
Thank you, Rinpoche.